think that domestic violence needs to be addressed in today's society. This is true because the violence negatively affects the family, especially a woman.
My opinion on domestic violence often ties in with the pop culture understanding of it. This perspective includes those who are involved in political and infamous relationships that are built upon the public eye. This negative influence showcases how domestic violence is seen through the eye of the media. It is publicly known that domestic violence is wrong and inhumane, yet this seems to be ignored when the perpetrator of the crime is rich and has a large influence. The victim is often placed in an environment where they are put to blame. These attributes condone and promotes a violent culture that hardly gets addressed.
I think that women are more affected with like relationship abuse and being abused, domestic abuse, because I feel like it suppresses them, and once that keeps on happening, like they feel like they don't have a voice, and they feel like emotionally.
I think women are most affected by domestic violence, and it affects them mentally and emotionally because I feel it happens when they're in a relationship, and it's that constant cycle of being abused, and it's hard to leave.
I think that anyone in a relationship would most likely be vulnerable, and that's because they're in a relationship and it's gonna make them feel like they can't leave the person. So they'd obviously feel belittled and they'd have to suppress their feelings.
I think men are more vulnerable to abuse because even though society believes that women are abused more often, men are forced to believe that they can't be abused and that they have to take whatever it is and they have to be manly. So I think that men are more vulnerable even though it happens more often. Men are not allowed to speak their feelings, so obviously it will affect them mentally and emotionally, and this will cause them to be potentially more aggressive and even more sad, and it could send them into a state of depression.
Being abused.
For the victim's safety, I would try to get them as far away from the abuser as possible and contact the police for the prevention of any more violence.
If I knew someone that was being abused, I would try and help them as best as I can. But honestly, it's up to the individual person to recognize that they're being abused and to receive help for that.
Family means to me to be there for each other, to be a support system, to love and care for each other, and always be there when you need someone to cry on or to have a support.
It's the people who are always going to care for you, have your back, and be there in a heartbeat.